Like we deserve something real. We deserve to be in relationships and friendships, whatever kind of ships, in a sense where it's legit and you're able to be yourself and communicate and be vulnerable.
Sacred. When you trust someone, you're saying to them, I'm going to assume things are going to work out, but in trusting you, I also know that you can hurt me. I also know that at any point in time, you can cheat on me, you can lie to me, you can steal from me, you can smear my name, you can tell people atrocious lies about me that aren't true. You can garner flying monkeys around me.
It's a Wizard of Oz reference.
Pretend to like me, but really not like me.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode here on The Bridge Reacts, and I'm your host here on the channel, Marcus. Thank you for stopping by to see another episode here on The Bridge, where we're talking about good things, we're talking about great things, we're also talking about positive things as well. Here on The Bridge, we're trying to decrease the divorce rate, add into long-lasting relationships, marriages. We believe in family over here. We believe in the mom, the dad being there with the kids, so we can kind of, do better as a working class, a community, working force. If you like what we talk about here on the channel, please subscribe, like button, notification bell as well, and welcome to the channel. Big shout out to all the new subscribers, all the old subscribers who are still tuning into the videos and leaving some comments, some nice feedback as well, and some likes. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate the engagement. Over 90% of people who watch this channel aren't subscribed, so if you like what we talk about here, please subscribe, be a bridge builder. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching the videos. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Today's video, we're talking about something a little bit different. We're talking about when it comes to, the hurdles in life when you are trying to build with somebody, maybe even build within yourself. One major component you need in that is trust, right? You need to be able to trust yourself. You need to be able to trust another person, other people when it comes to relationships at the workplace, maybe with, a significant other, like we talk about here on The Bridge, maybe family, friends, whatever. You need that trust. How are you going to be able to build that relationship and actually be able to let your defenses down, be yourself, and actually have a legitimate relationship with that person if you don't trust them, right? So getting over that, let's go ahead and talk about the content creator, Miss Lisa A. Romano, Breakthrough Life Coach Incorporated, in her video talking about how to trust someone in a relationship and get over the fear of getting hurt. So please check out the original content creator and we'll get straight to it. It's going to be a short one for sure this time. And really appreciate you for stopping by to see another episode here on The Bridge. Let's get straight to it.
In order to trust someone, we need a couple of things to understand. We need to understand that we have faith and fear operating at the same time. And that is why it's so difficult to trust someone and to even sometimes trust ourselves. Let me explain. So when I meet you and I decide that I want to have a relationship with you and you decide that you want to have a relationship with me, we are assuming that the relationship is going to be one that is reciprocal. And so we have faith and we have hope. We have this assumption that the relationship that we're going to have is going to be beneficial to both of us, right? It could be a business agreement, it could be a partnership, spousal relationship, boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, friendship, whatever. We just understand and we have hope and we have faith and we have this assumption that everything's going to work out fine. Mixed with this faith and hope and these assumptions for everything wonderful are also my fears and also your fears.
Yeah.
We've all been wounded. We all have suffered to one point or another. And so developing faith and developing trust in a relationship also has to deal with my vulnerabilities and my fears. And that's why developing trust in a relationship is so complex. In addition to trust being such a major thing, our ability to do so is highly unconscious. Our ability to trust one another goes back to how well we were able to secure attachments with our caretakers. If I have a secure attachment to my mother, then
it all stems from childhood, right? 9 times out of 10, like things that, kind of affect you and allow you to perceive the world a certain way when you're in your adulthood, all stems from childhood.
I'm able to trust that I am enough. My mother has done a well enough job to make me feel like my needs were important. And now I can feel this
big shout out to my parents.
Trust that I am a viable, valid human being. And whatever it is that I am is worthy enough for this other mother, usually outside of me, to nurture me and to meet my needs. When we are born to people who have their own anxious stuff going on. They have their own attachment stuff going on. They might be alcoholics. They might be suffering some mental health issue. Maybe they're severely codependent and they don't realize it. When we are born to people who are dysfunctional, who are living below the veil of consciousness, doesn't mean that they are intentionally
Living below the veil of consciousness. I like that.
harming us, right? I think that many parents harm their children unintentionally, myself included. I'm raising my hand. Can I get an amen? Was me. I didn't intentionally set out to hurt my children, but I hurt my children. I was below the veil of consciousness. I wasn't as present as I could have or should have been. I did not meet the demands of my children as often and as consistently as I should have because I was absorbed in my own head, okay? I didn't do it intentionally. However, I acknowledge and I will forever try to undo what has been done as it relates to my children because I know that my unconsciousness hurt them.
And to be fair, I'm going to pause it here for just a second. I'm going to get straight to it. I really appreciate Miss Lisa, Dr. Lisa. She's an author for sure. I'm not sure if she's a doctor per se. And we all know, we as children, we don't come with a guide. Shout out to Janae, Jay on the channel. She said this not too long ago. But, you know, parents aren't, you know, able to have this guide that comes with a kid. Like there's no like right or wrong thing that, you know, comes with it. It's like, it's a learning process, especially if you're the first child in that family between those two individuals who had you. Like, I mean, eventually you're going to do something wrong. And we as, you know, children who grew up to be adults, we need to unlearn those bad behaviors, traumas, whatever, neglect, all that stuff, right? Pettiness, to a degree. We need to unlearn that and understand it was wrong. And we need to understand that whatever trust may have been lost with our parents, our caretakers, we need to really remind ourselves that other people in the world aren't like our parents. And our parents may have not been, you know, the same people who they are today. They might have been in a certain mindset or situation back then. But there's always some level of grace at the end of the day. And you need to trust individuals in order to build relationships because we are very much so, you know, social creatures. We have to have some kind of camaraderie, and you can't really have that without trusting people. It doesn't, you know, you got to unlearn that.
So do my children and have my children have they struggled with trusting people? Of course they have. Why? How could it be any other way? And so it was for me. It was difficult to trust people because I learned very early on to not trust people, to trust that I was not worthy of being validated, to trust that it was not safe to be me, to trust that it was not safe to express my emotions. And so I did not develop the faith and the hope. I did not assume relationships were going to be beautiful and reciprocal. In fact, I remember entering into high school thinking, I'm just going to get through these 4 years. I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm going to move to Manhattan. I'm going to get some clerical job. I'm going to have cats, and that's going to be my life. Like seriously, if that's your life, there's nothing wrong with that. But my thought process at the time was all rooted in my lack of trust and my inability to trust not only other people, but in the reality that I was worthy of joy, of love, of peace, of enoughness, and of abundance. Trust, in my humble opinion, is...
We all are. Like, you shouldn't sell yourself short. Like, we all deserve some level of, like, content, some level of happiness to a degree, even though happiness is a fleeting feeling. Like we deserve something real. We deserve to be in relationships and friendships, whatever kind of ships, in the sense where it's legit and you're able to be yourself and communicate and be vulnerable.
Sacred. When you trust someone, you're saying to them, I'm going to assume things are going to work out, but in trusting you, I also know that you can hurt me. I also know that at any point in time, you can cheat on me, you can lie to me, you can steal from me, you can smear my name, you can tell people atrocious lies about me that aren't true. You can garner flying monkeys around me.
It's a Wizard of Oz reference.
Pretend to like me, but really not like me. There are so many things that are involved when we trust someone.
Yeah.
And so it's a mixture of faith and a mixture of fear as well. The thing that abused adult children have to be careful of is our black and white thinking, because very often, like I said earlier, trust is very much unconscious. The ability to trust is unconscious. And the more secure I felt to my mother and my father and my sibling, the more trust I have in myself, in my judgment, and of other people. And the more fair-minded I am. I don't live in black and white. In other words, I understand there are plenty of gray. That's plenty of gray. True. And so if you disappoint me, I don't throw you off the bridge.
And everyone's going to shout out to the bridge. Everyone's going to disappoint you to a degree, regardless. Like, no one's perfect, bro. Like, I think she's about to go into this, but we're gonna let her finish, and then we're gonna get straight to my final thoughts.
If you disappoint me, I run it through the filter. I don't forget the 100 wonderful things that you've done for me and say none of that matters because in my opinion, in this situation, you abandoned me, or in this situation, I could not trust you. Depending on what it is. Of course, if you hurt my cat on purpose, of course, if you do something ridiculous, like you cheat on me, everything's out the window, in my opinion. You know it. If you're an adult child, you can be reactive. Like, the one time that your friend goes out with a bunch of other friends and doesn't invite you, that's it. The 25-year relationship's over. Like, that's what we do. I'm not saying it's healthy. I'm owning it. I'm saying that I was a highly reactive, codependent woman who my ability to trust someone was very delicate. And if you wounded me, I took that to heart. I felt abandoned. I would flee. I would isolate, and I'd be afraid that maybe you were going to hurt me again. I'd be afraid that it meant that you didn't love me, that it meant that I wasn't enough.
Damn. And so there's more to the video. I'm gonna cut it right here. I'll leave the link in the description, but we'll get to my final thoughts. So my final thoughts of the video, right? Miss Lisa is 100% right when it comes to trust. Like, I've been in relationships or friendships where the individual may have had trust issues, or they've had some kind of trauma revolved around trust to a degree, right? Say, for instance, a certain individual, really close with, and something may have happened where I've done everything right, or for the most part, 99% of the time right, in the past. And it's like, there's a scenario where something was really complex and I felt a lot of, emotions, and I felt like I was being neglected or abandoned. I felt as though I wasn't being seen. I wasn't being heard. So how can I hear you? How can I see you if I can't feel as though I'm being heard or seen, right? So I was not there for that individual that when they really needed me the most. Out of all the times they needed me, I've been there. I was there every single time, right? Even set time aside to be there for them. And then this one interaction, this one moment when they really needed me, and I wasn't there. And it has obstructed the trust within that relationship pretty severely, where it has caused some kind of fraction. Relationship, whatever ship it was, has completely tarnished because of that one interaction. Now, I could have handled the situation better, but then again, I am human, right? You're human. We are all human. At least I hope so. If you're not, tell me in the comment section. The whole point is that, like, you can't allow certain situations, certain circumstances to obstruct your entire relationship or your trust, that foundations you've built with that individual or people or whatever. You can't allow that to just like completely erase everything that you've worked towards. So at the end of the day, I understand we've all had maybe some level of not so great relationship. If you have had relationships, right, especially like romantic ones, you've been cheated on, you've been lied to, disrespected, you've been walked over, talked down to, and all the terrible things that you didn't deserve. And I'm sorry you went through that. I think that it is very instrumental for you to maybe go to therapy, find some level of like peace within that, and understand that not all people are like that. Not all people are here to backstab you. And I dare say majority of those people, if not all, majority, if at the least, of those people who backstabbed you or upset you, they were going through something too. And I feel like a lot of us don't really understand that, or it's hard to understand that concept. I highly doubt most of us as humans are born evil, or we want to upset or hurt somebody else who's a reflection of us. We're all in this together, universal, right? We're all part of the same source. So it's like, why would I want to hurt my own reflection in a sense? Why would I deliberately want to do that? Unless I'm going through something and that evil or that whatever something is, tarnishing my mindset. So now that I am interacting with you in a certain way, that's going to tarnish our relationship and our trust. And I just think that, rebuilding that trust and allowing people and being more vulnerable, because I know it's not easy, because you exactly what Miss Lisa said, or Dr. Lisa said, when it comes to, you trusting someone, literally allowing someone who has the keys to everything into your life to a degree. Maybe not everything, but to a lot of things that a lot of people will not have access to or keys to. So that person can literally almost destroy you to a degree. So it's a powerful thing if you really trust them. So it could be a scary thing, but you can't move in that. You can't move in that, especially if you want to build actual, genuine relationships. We need that as a community. We need that as, being families, being fathers, mothers, being children, daughters, sons. So something to think about. Talking about trust, but you can tell me what you think about in the comment section and let us know on the bridge here on the channel. And a big shout out to you again for sticking around this long in the video. A lot of people don't. Thank you so much for subscribing, hitting the like button, notification bell as well. And just tell me your thoughts about what you think about the video, building trust, maybe your own scenario within it. Do you think that there is a lot of complications when it comes to building trust, and why? Is there some kind of general reason for that? Is it more worldly? Is it just more circumstance and individual kind of scenario? Like, just tell me what you think in the comment section. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. I really appreciate, again, the engagement and all the new faces who are here on the channel building that bridge. Really appreciate it. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.